Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKal Kodesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, or the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who do this work in truth and sincerity, who risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds, who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as they are the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Akalio, and this video is about the prophecy of World War III and Bible prophecy in general. Alright, so current update regarding the entire situation between the state of Israel and Iran. You know, as you can see right there in the red, Israel and Iran exchange new waves of strikes, live updates, and so that's just going back and forth. But, you know, the entire situation at hand, it is a situation that is definitely contributing to the prophecy of World War III, as it says in Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14, the second woe is past, talking about World War II, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, talking about World War III. All right, so World War III, Salakia, World War III is a part of Bible prophecy, and there are going to be things happening in the world that we're all going to be experiencing that will build up and eventually lead to the manifestation of World War III and the manifestation of Revelation chapter 16 and verse 16. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. All right, so Yahweh Shemishah is going to gather them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. And the war is going to take over there, or the war is going to happen over there in the so-called Middle East, which is called really Western Asia. Okay, that's the area of contention. And you have some major players regarding the World War III prophecy that are bucking heads right now, which are the state of Israel and Iran. Iran's part in Bible prophecy is that Iran is the number one ally mentioned in the scriptures, right? And I say that because in Ezekiel 38, when it mentions Gog and Magog, which is Russia, it's referring to there, and it says that Russia is going to go to war and that they'll have a great company, which are its allies. And the first one that the scriptures mention is Persia, which is known as Iran today. Okay, so they are Russia's number one ally, and you can even see that just based off of, you know, current events in the world. And according to the scripture in Ezekiel chapter 38, it says that Russia is a guard unto its allies, because Russia has more allies besides Iran as well. There are many allies of Russia, but Russia is a guard unto them. And so being that Iran is Russia's number one ally, Russia is going to be obviously most of the guard, you know, how do I say this? They are Russia's number one priority regarding, you know, guarding them. And so that's why with this entire situation with the state of Israel, the Israelis attacking Iran, all right, based off of Bible prophecy, we know that there's going to come a point in time where Russia will be a guard unto its allies, which means that Russia will be a guard unto Iran. Okay, so that is going to happen for sure sometime in the future. Right now, there is a skirmish between the Israelis and Iran, and you know, we're just going to have to see how it develops over these next couple of days, because this is an event that is literally currently happening in real time. Okay, now the state of Israel has an important part to play in Bible prophecy as well, as they will be the cause, according to the scriptures, to force America to go to war. So it says here in Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 45, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he had taken against Babylon, which is America, and his purposes, that he hath purpose against the land of the Chaldeans, referring to the Edomites. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So the least of the flock is talking about the Israelis, the Jewish people, the small hats. All right, and so when it comes to Esau, Edom, they are the fewest in number. So they are the least of the flock of the Edomites. All right, so it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, draw out Babylon, which is a miracle. So the state of Israel, the Israelis, they're going to do things that are going to eventually cause America to go to war. They're going to force America to go to war, right? Remember that America is the state of Israel's number one defense. Whether it is that people want to believe it or not, whatever it is, okay, America's set up to defend Israel. All right, that's a part of, how things are set up for Esau, Edom, okay, to protect that those people. Okay, so we already know based on the scripture as well, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So the state of Israel and America, they're going to lose, right? And then, with the situation with America's allies, which are NATO and the EU, that relationship is going to be broken apart, and it's already breaking apart, right? Looking at current events, situations that have come up, tensions between America and NATO and the EU, all kinds of things, man. So we know that that relationship is going to be broken apart because in Revelation chapter 17, verse 16, it says, and the 10 horns, which is the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast, which is NATO, these shall hate the whore, which is America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So America's allies are going to turn against her and burn her with fire, which is talking about the destruction of America, right? America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. It's going to be destroyed by the missiles. So America's enemies are going to shoot missiles at her, and her own allies are going to turn against her and shoot missiles at her too. This is what it says. So America's only real true ally in the near future is the state of Israel, the Israelis, all right? Because NATO and the EU are going to break apart. And so going back to this, right? The Israelis are going to draw America out to war. Now, this is what we're patiently waiting on, these prophecies to fulfill, right? Where Russia is a guard unto its allies, so Russia goes to the defense of Iran, and then where the state of Israel does something, right, continues to further escalate things, which you can see they're constantly doing it. They're attacking the Palestinians, they're attacking the Iranians, they're just constantly attacking people, which actually lets you know who they are and who they are not, right? At a bare minimum, who they are not. And they're not the Lord's holy chosen people, according to the book of Isaiah, chapter 2. You just read it from the start, and then you read it going on down, and you'll see that the scriptures say that when it is that the Lord's holy chosen people, the Israelites, are ruling, that, when we're in power, we're going to establish the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemi Shai, that the heathen nations are going to seek to want to learn our ways, and that also there will be war no more. But here it is that none of the heathen care to go to the people that are in the land of Israel today to learn from them. Actually, they're going to war against them, and then that's the next thing. There's war there, but when the Israelites are in rulership, there will be peace. Okay, and then most of all, most importantly, the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shemi Shai, that's the number one indicator. They do not establish that over there in the land, so it is impossible for them to be the Lord's holy chosen people. All right, they are the Edomites, all right, who are these so-called white people, and this is their kingdom. They're in rulership, and their kingdom right now is fragmented. You can see it where you have the Israelis and America aligned together, and then you have NATO and the EU that are supposed to be aligned with them, right? Remember as well that the state of Israel is an unofficial member of NATO. But then also remember this then, that the scriptures say that America's allies are going to burn with fire. So in the coming days, in the future, America's allies, referring to NATO and the EU, will no longer be working with them. So that's going to be fragmented, right? Then you have, even on that side, them against Russia and Russia's allies, which includes Iran. And then you can see the African nations, so-called, who are the biblical Hamites. And then you can even take a look at the BRICS to see which countries are aligning with Russia, BRICS. So Esau's kingdom is very fragmented, and it says it in the book of Mark. Chapter 3. Oh, Mark. Actually. Mark chapter 3 and verse 24. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself, referring to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. So, this is the situation of Esau's kingdom. It's a very fragmented kingdom. The Russians are an Edomite power, which is enlisting the help of the heathen. Then you have America and Edomite power, the state of Israel and Edomite power, NATO and the EU, Edomite powers. Okay, and you can see all of the relationships, and it's a completely fragmented kingdom, so it has an end. They're divided. All right, and then here the article at hand that inspired the lesson. Israel asked the US to join Iran attack. West Jerusalem has requested assistance targeting the Fordo nuclear site, according to the outlet. So here it is already. The state of Israel, and if you realize I say the state of Israel, or I call them the Israelis, okay, because I'm not going to call them the Israelites because they're not the Israelites, all right? They are the state of Israel, the Israelis, all right? They are already asking America to join with them to attack Iran. So you can see how the prophecy in Jeremiah 50 verse 45, how close it is, right? Because they are going to draw out America to war. That is going to happen for a fact, okay? And so what's happening right now is so close to that, because they're literally requesting for America to join them to attack, right, Iran, which that can further escalate things. But right now, things are remaining, as is. Because let's just read a little bit more. West Jerusalem has asked the White House to take part in its military campaign against Iran in order to eliminate Tehran's nuclear program, according to two Israeli officials cited by Axios. Several above-ground facilities in Iran, including sites in Natanz and Esfahan, were destroyed in recent Israeli strikes. Okay, Israel described the operation as a preemptive move to prevent Tehran from developing a nuclear weapon. Iran has consistently denied it has any intention to do so. All right, so, the Israelis, they just strike in Iran because they're under the assumption of something, not that it has actually happened. And just take note of that, by the way, to see how these people deal with things. According to Axios, Verse said okay. According to Axios, Israel lacks the bunker-busting bombs and long-range bomber aircraft required to destroy Fordo. The U.S., however, possesses both and operates forces within range of Iran. All right, so they're just calling for America to attack as well. Now, let's see what America has to say. Washington has reportedly distanced itself from the operation while warning that even a limited strike could draw the U.S. into the war. See, a limited strike. Well, Salakia, any kind of involvement that America makes directly and that we hear about it, that would mean that they're involved. All right. White House officials have argued that it would be illegitimate for Iran to retaliate against American forces. So they're saying that Israeli attacks could not be prevented, so they can't control Israel, right, the state of Israel, we have the ability to negotiate a successful peaceful resolution to this conflict if Iran is willing. But the thing is that Trump, I saw an article that said that Trump was in agreement with Israel's attacks, the state of Israel's attacks against Iran, right? So America agrees with it. They're just not explicitly so involved with it, on a certain stage because, behind closed doors, who knows what's happening? You know what I'm saying? But the thing at hand is that Bible prophecy is close to being fulfilled. Now, the thing about this entire situation is that, the World War III, the War of Armageddon, and the end of it, because it's going to escalate very quickly to the end where the missiles are shot. Okay? Now, keep in mind that the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel and the destruction of America, which is Babylon the Great, cannot occur and will not occur until the mark of the beast is fulfilled. So when it is that these things are going on, it is exciting because it most certainly does contribute to Bible prophecy. I mean, these things have to happen. There has to be tension. There has to be escalation between these major powers involved in Bible prophecy because these prophecies have to be fulfilled eventually, right? But we also know that we have to keep calm and observe that mark of the beast prophecy because that is the main thing to look out for. All right, that prophecy has to be fulfilled first, man. It has to be. Okay, so with that being said, I mean, it's still great overall. That's why I seen the elder apostle Aramla do a video. I think it said like, we're one excited, not too excited. And I didn't watch the video, but I wonder if he's speaking on like this kind of situation because, well, that's how like I view the situation with this whole thing, right? We are in fact excited because things that are happening contributes to Bible prophecy. We're getting closer to the end, but also we have to chill because of that mark of the beast prophecy to look out for, right? So yeah, man, as the scriptures say that for many prophets have wanted to paraphrase, wanted to hear the things that you hear and see the things that you see, and we're seeing and hearing these things, all right? Because the disciples asked Yahushua and said, what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Because they were so eager to know when, the salvation would be and when the hell it is that we get out of here. You know what I'm saying? So now we are witnessing this in real time. So we have some more time to go because, the system at hand, the mark of the beast system, they're moving along with it very swiftly, but there is some things that they still have to implement to allow the system to function the way that they envision it to function. All right. So with that, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemishai, B'Shem Kodesh, Shalom.